Hello, stepmates. Welcome to Visions of W5, a series of videos about my hopes and dreams regarding the upcoming 5th edition of Werewolf the Apocalypse. It should also be said, because this is the internet, that I have complete confidence in the World of Darkness team. The following are just my own thoughts, exposed in the hopes of having a pleasant conversation. I'm looking forward to the book, regardless of whether or not any of this ends up in it. Of course, that also means I may have to cover elements that I think could be improved from previous editions. Please understand that any such comments come from a place of love. With that out of the way, let's begin. A new edition is a chance to rebuild and refine the material that came before it. V5 did a lot of that. By so doing, it achieved two things I hope carries over into W5. First, it increased the playability of several character concepts which used to be in the background, by giving them a reason to come into the spotlight. I'm referring here to things like the new take on Thinbloods, the renewed importance of the Anarchs, and the reshuffling of allegiances, such as the Banu Hakim joining the Camarilla. Second, it addressed some of the more insensitive elements of previous editions, making them much more inclusive, while concurrently updating the lore. The easiest example would be the fresh coat of paint put on clans like the Banu Hakim, the Ministry, and of course, the upcoming Ravnos. What would it look like if we adapted these same elements into Werewolf? Let's see. Before I can delve into this topic, I must first clarify that I will not be using the word Metis in these videos. It is a problematic term which hopefully will be given the boot. I will instead be using the term Garou-Born, which was coined by Toring, the man behind the excellent Lore of the Apocalypse podcast. Know that I use the term with his permission. Thank you, Toring. In this episode, we will cover two topics I believe could be reframed in order to increase playability: Kinfolks and the Garou-Born. In the next episode, we will be covering the Pharaoh. Check it out. It's gonna be wild. First, let's destroy the notion that kinfolks are second-tier citizens at best, and let's not even talk about what they are at worst. Aside from making werewolves feel superior, which honestly most tribes don't give a rat's ass about anyway, this adds fairly little to the game itself. Of course, there are those who wish to play as the, unsung heroes, if you will, and there's absolutely a place for that. But the fact is that most tribes actually are not jerks to their kinfolks at all. They see them as family and friends, essential moral support, and sometimes the only thing allowing the Garou to keep it together. Embracing this stance will go a long way towards making the option of playing a kinfolk far more appealing. True, they weren't chosen, one of the main reasons for their status. But that doesn't mean Gaia hates them or thinks them unworthy. In fact, look at the damn litany. She literally said, "Respect those beneath ye. All are of Gaia." So, let's do that. But that's not enough. Kinfolk need a reason to tag along with a pack for players in ways to be directly meaningful to local politics as NPCs. Right now, once teeth start gnashing, there's very little a kinfolk can do. Let's give them their own gift list. Something built around supporting a pack in battle without stealing the show. Maybe something to help guide a Garou's frenzied rage towards strategic enemies, or prevent a frenzy altogether. They could have gifts that can enhance their tools or weapons, just enough to allow a kin to stand on their own in a fight, as long as they don't get hit. Let's also remember something important. There are far more kinfolk than there are werewolves. Why not give them their own official stations in cairns, based around running logistics and the smaller stuff that Garou can't be bothered with? I know that's already how it is in the books, but let's make it official. Let's give them an actual title and positions of respect because they do these tasks. But also, Why couldn't a grizzled old kinfolk be the worm foe if they are the best tacticians on the set, or at least the second in command? I hear you, I hear you. Of course, most set positions should be filled by werewolves, and of course, the focus must remain on the Garou. They are the chosen, and the name is in the title of the game, but there's still a lot of room before that becomes an issue. And it's in that room that we can make kinfolks a much more appealing playable option. Those born of the union between Garou parents fall much in the same niche. At the end of the day, there are maybe 2 or 3 tribes who have really strong feelings against the Garou-Born. Looking at you, Fiannas. But most tribes either accept them outright or will just keep an eye out just in case. And that's fine. Embrace that if your players are into that. It can be interesting to have some Garou be uncomfortable around other Garou-Born. It adds flavor to the roleplay. It's far less okay to assume the default is pure hatred. Let's face it, oftentimes this breed is chosen because it's an awesome concept. Neither man nor beast. If we're being honest, they also have significant mechanical advantages and a fantastic gift list. That does not mean all who make that choice are prepared to or even interested in dealing with all the ugliness. And they shouldn't have to be bullied for the benefit of playing a cool character. Yes, there should be a downside to the increased power, but if the aim is to make this breed more playable, it should be something the player chooses to engage with. Let's give them options. And yes, deformities and social stigma should be a possibility, but let's add more. Maybe the character is disconnected with one of their halves and can't take the Homid or Lupus form, forever banning them from human or wolf society. Maybe choose an appropriate supernatural flaw, like slip sideways, to represent the fact that the character is neither man nor beast, but something else, something more spiritual than physical. There's so much that can be done here. Just put up a list out there and let players choose what they want to play with as a consequence of being born from 2 Garou parents. Just explain it as saying that the spiritual consequences of being Garou-born is manifesting differently from one person to another. Garou shall not mate with Garou. Remember, this rule isn't there to prevent the half-breeds. It's so that werewolves remain connected to their kin, so that werewolves continue to care about humans and wolves. Gaia can be a vengeful force of nature when she needs to be, but she isn't about hatred. She's about caring and nurturing. See you next episode, where we're going to be talking about my very favorite thing in all of the World of Darkness, the changing breeds.